Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and I'm assuming this video is going to go up on Saturday because we have had a slight delay in being able to finish up the Halloween make-along stuff. So hopefully that'll go up next week. So as the title of this video would suggest, we are going to be doing the final wrap-up of the Yarn Yay video. So, our video review series here. So, to review what we got in each box, month one, we got this infinity scarf pattern and fingering weight yarn. Very cute. I enjoyed making this. Took me forever and 3 years to get it blocked and sewn, but I enjoyed making it. And the rest of the items that we got were the Tyvek marketing bag. I do not like getting marketing materials like that in a subscription box. It irritates the daylights out of me. And we got this keychain that's got your yardage approximations for projects. And like I said, these are just stupid expensive when you go to buy them in an LYS or online or anything else. These are just way more expensive than I would ever spend money for. And then we also, we got the knit pattern and the crochet pattern to go with month one. I don't think there's anything else there. Knit pattern, crochet pattern, keychain, bag, and Henko yarn. Yeah. So month two, that was our Au Français box. Oui, oui, Paris. We got this beautiful Lorna's Laces yarn. This is the Honor base. This is the 70% baby alpaca, 30% silk yarn. Obviously, I did not use the yarn. However, I did use 2 yarns from my stash to make the berets. And I actually did 2 of the knit berets and 1 crochet beret. We got a pair of Eiffel Tower scissors, a poodle stitch marker, and the sweet little macaron case. So that was month two's box. Month 3 was the 3rd year anniversary box. And we got a yarn from Woolen Women's Fibers and Sweet Georgia Yarns. And this is what I made out of mine. I did not follow the pattern. So if you're keeping track, 1 month I did the pattern with the yarn, 1 month I did the pattern without the yarn, and 1 month I did a different pattern with the yarn. I did kind of try to fade the 2 colors, which was totally unnecessary with how well the Merino worked with the variegated. This is the Pebble Beach shawl. I'll have it linked in Show and Tell 110 next week. Just because I want to be able to get this up, so I have a video that can go up. So we got that. We got the silver paper bag thing, which I said, once again, this is another one of those way more than I would spend money on. And ironically, I just came across another one from another yarn company. It is a zipper bag that cuts off about here. It's made out of the exact same material, and they were asking $28 for it. So it's one of those, I'm guessing the material itself is very expensive. We got a tassel maker because the patterns for this box were little like makeup bags or accessory notion bags, and there's a tassel on the zipper pull. So we got a tassel maker, a sticker, and that appears to be it. Double check my notes from month 3. Yarn, tassel maker, bag, and pattern jet. And this was, we did get 3 patterns. We got a Tunisian, a crochet, and a knit pattern for this one. We got crochet and knit for the other 2. And I do have the little booklet for this one down here. So that's a quick rundown of everything that we got. And I've spent a lot of time trying to think of how to best express myself when talking about this. So in the unboxing videos, while they're not a live impression, it is still a first impressions box. I haven't worked with everything. I haven't sat with it and really thought about it. This is just, I normally film them within 12 hours of receiving the box, and part of that's spent sleeping. So I'm not spending, a whole lot of time before I come in and do the unboxing videos, the first impressions videos. So those are really first impressions of how I feel as I'm opening the box. After I've had some time to think on it, in particularly discussing back and forth with you guys how I feel about certain things or what I think about certain things, my impressions do change on these boxes. There are very few times where my immediate impression is the one we're going with. As we've discussed before in the unboxing videos, Vicki Howell has worked really hard to build a very specific kind of box with this box. She wants to support small independent business. She focuses heavily on women-owned business and minority-owned businesses. She's not going out and getting things that you can just go to Michael's and grab or go to Joann's and grab. These are, in some cases, more unique items. Like I said, this is one of those weird, I wouldn't have expected to get one of these in a knitting subscription box or a yarn subscription box. I'm glad to have it because it is something that was, I had seen it on a home decor site and thought, oh, that's kind of cute. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to roll the top down and use it as a catch-all on my nightstand. That's actually what I wanted it for. But even that, I mean, it's a unique box. It's different in a lot of ways to what we've seen in some other boxes. Running the math on these really was kind of part of the problem, though. And I do overthink it, I suppose, to a certain degree, because I am one of the non-biased ways for me to review these boxes is to tell you what the retail value of items are and then tell you what we're paying for the box. So the total retail value of all 3 months together was $155.70. And a lot of that feels like it was in extras. I did the 3-month prepaid plan. So I paid $103 for the subscription box. It was like $121 after shipping. So even after shipping, we still saved money. From retail value to what we paid, we saved 33% total for all 3 months. And I did just see the release for June's box, and I am in love with that pattern. I really wish I was still a member because I really love that pattern. But we still would have hit that 20 to 25% savings zone, which I think is only fair when we're taking a risk on something like a subscription box. This is a box where you can skip the month if you don't like what's in it. So I wouldn't expect quite as large of a discount, but we're still, even after shipping, hitting that 20 to 25% off if you live in the US. Now, I understand overseas is a completely different story. I've done one overseas box and it was still a good value, but it's very different. I did the Crochet Society box, the Bella Coco box, and I mean, it is more expensive, and it is, I got a lot of negative feedback from that one because we got the Karen Pantone yarn, but that was a new release in the UK. It was an old release here in the States. So the bulk of my subscribers are in the US, and there were a lot of people who were like, I can't believe you're okay with this. And it's like, but this is why. It is an overseas box. They are behind us on these releases. So I understand, like, if you're outside of the US and having to pay international shipping on this, it probably is not worth the value. International shipping is stupid expensive, massively slow right now. I had to make the choice in my make along, if a prize winner did not live in the US, to not send them a prize, but to do patterns, because for a $20 prize for me to send it out, it's going to be $45 for me to ship it. So if you're in the US, I think this is actually not a horrible deal. If you're outside of the US, check what your shipping's going to be, because it can get really expensive, especially the more stops that they know it's going to make. Like Canada's $45, but for me to ship like to a non-coastal European country right now is like $60 minimum. Unless I use like the mailer things, the standard cost mailers, and those actually tend to cost more than paying by the pound. So one of the things I did in evaluating, because there was a lot of negativity in the fact that there were extras, the Tyvek bag, the keychain, the scissors, the silver bag. I wasn't really negative about the fact there were extras in the box. I don't mind the extras, but when I'm doing the price evaluation and having to say, you know, this is, you know, $12 or whatever. What do I have this on? I have this as $5 on my list. I know I've seen them for like $12 in other places. When I have to say, you know, this little tiny piece of wood is $5, even though this is not, you know, somebody's not hand doing the design on this. This is a heated stamp embossing and wood burning these. And I know these blanks are not very expensive, because I can get these in a small maker bag pack for like 10 cents each. And when you're buying massive bulk, the price goes down. So one of the things I did that was a little bit different with this one is I did look at what did the yarn from all 3 months cost. What was the retail value on the yarn. So the yarn is $78.50 worth of that $103 that I paid. So that means the silver bag, the keychain, the scissors, the macaron case, the stitch marker, the Tyvek bag, all of the patterns, once again, 2 knit, 2 crochet in the first 2 boxes, plus 2 knit and a Tunisian. So we got 7 patterns with this. All of that total combined to only $24.50 worth of everything that we got. And when you look at the fact that this is a $20 product in and of itself, that's really not that bad. Now, if you're not interested in the silver bag, you know, okay. But that's part of the risk you're taking with a subscription box. And that 25% saved or 20% saved kind of puts you in the zone of, okay, well, I don't like that, but I like everything else about it. So in fairness, by my own criteria of retail value versus what we spent on this, this is a good box. I would say this is a good value if you're in the US. Now, I don't know what their international shipping rates are. Like I said, it took my total from 103 to 121 for domestic shipping, which still left us with a substantial savings even after shipping. Taxes, shipping, and all that stuff. So, in all fairness, you're still getting good value here monetarily. One of the other things that I wanted to discuss is something that a couple of us have actually gone to email to talk about. And this is a very fair point. So I mentioned in other review series, I do have experience with retail. I do understand marketing. I do understand sales. The place where they're able to save the most money with Yarn Yay is not the yarn. You're never going to get a box like this with these yarns in it, 2 hanks of yarn, for the price you're paying. You're paying approximately $30 to $35 a month for this. The yarns themselves retail as much as $30 each in the case of the Lorna's laces. So in their effort to support small businesses, they do not have a house line yarn. They are supporting small batch dyers. That's fine. That's their business model. That's neither here nor there. It is what it is. But those small batch indie dyers don't have a huge amount of room to wiggle, even if they get a bulk wholesale order, to drop their prices. Where they do have opportunity for dropping prices, this is a house-made product. It's not marketed, so I'm okay with it, versus marketing material, not marketing material. House line product, marketing material. Big difference between these. They can do things like making these and having a house line of something like this, so the cost does go down. That does make it cheaper having your own line. You're not paying a middleman. You're not paying anyone in between. You're paying your manufacturer, and that's it. Period. So they're able to reduce cost that they're spending in providing a cohesive collection every month. And all of these have been, I would say, very cohesive boxes, because even the first box with the bag I'm not particularly keen on, everything about it was kind of like this light, flowy, it's spring, time to be outside kind of vibes. You have the little VW bus on the front of the keychain. And this is very much, to me, like a market bag. This is what you would take to the farmer's market to stick your purchases in. So everything is a very cohesive theme. We had a French theme. We had the anniversary theme, which everything was just more celebratory in that box. So you had the colors of the subscription box. You had something fancy and shiny. I understand why so much of the numeric value when you calculate the retail value is in the extras. Because at $30 to $35 a box, they can only afford to put one ball of yarn in. Because keep in mind, 1 month was $22, 1 month was $26.50, 1 month was $30 in just the yarn. So in order to provide a box that has a cohesive theme, assuming their patterns and printing and all that's free, that they just don't do that. In order to make the box worth more than just one skein of yarn, they are putting in high dollar, discounted to them to purchase in bulk, items in the extras. So it's a pro-con and it's a balancing act. If you're not interested in extras, but you're just interested in the yarn, I would recommend watching the unboxings for the Yarn-Yay box and be like, oh, I really like that yarn. Go to that independent dyer's website and buy the yarn, because almost all of these have their own websites that you can purchase the yarn from. So, I mean, like I said, Lorna's Laces is a brand that I'm very familiar with in pre-transition and post-transition phases. So Pippin has decided that clawing box 1 is the way to go. Baby, please stop. Please stop clawing. So it's a balancing act that they're having to do to provide an interesting box, because you're not ever going to get for that price that second ball of yarn from these dyers. Because even at most, these lines that I have seen in LYSs in person, I've never seen them discounted more than 10%. So, and I know from talking to a couple of different LYS owners, when they purchase these items for their shop, they're not getting much off of the standard retail price for a lot of these lines. These lines just aren't on sales like that. So I don't know. It's one of those that the numbers seem hyper skewed when you run the math on it. And it does just irk me that certain things have such a high retail value, because they shouldn't be that expensive retail. But it doesn't mean that they're not worthwhile items, useful items, items that you can be excited about or anything else. It's just, why does a piece of plastic cost $8? That's just infuriating off the top. So, like I said, I mean, we saved 33%. My cutoff for these has always been 20 to 25% to be a good value. I really love all 3 months yarns. The yarns have been absolutely stunning. Now, I will say all 3 months have been right up my color palette. As I've said before, it's obvious to tell how much I love purples, pinks, and I've got blues up here, blues down here. I mean, blue. This is my Tilly sweater, by the way. The pattern's written by Katie and the Squid. But yeah, like pinks, purples, and blues are really up my alley. And we got a blue and purple yarn, a pink yarn, and a blue, black, gray combo yarn. Which, by the way, that woolen women's yarn just, that worked up stunning. I'm so in love with how, I mean, the Sweet Georgia was beautiful to work with. It's a very, that yarn base was exceptionally sumptuous and squishy to work with. It was even better to work with than it felt in the little hank. This just, I love the way it worked up. I was worried we were going to have really bad flashing with this, but it really didn't. We got this nice, beautiful striated effect. I'm very, very happy with that. I really love how that turned out. And clearly, I just took it off the blocking boards today, but I did want to get this up as our next box will be here either over the weekend or at the beginning of the week. So, I love the yarns. While I was never going to use this to make a pouch, I do like the pouch patterns. There's nothing wrong with the patterns. I just was not going to use that yarn to make a pouch. That needed to be something that was over my face, seen and used more regularly, handled more regularly. And that Lorna's Laces, that it is a hat. I'm not going to wear a beret that often. I'm not using that yarn to make a beret. So, but I did use the pattern in the yarn, use the pattern with my yarn, use their yarn with my own pattern. I really optimized by accident the different ways to utilize what you have in these kits and what you have on your own. Now he's clawing my table. He really wants to go out on the porch today. So I get the complaints because I have my own complaints with the extras or the other selection. But at the end of the day, all of that's value only being $24 of the box after you take out the cost of the yarns, the retail price of the yarns. I can't really say that I am disappointed or horribly upset. I like the box overall, but the yarns were right up my alley. The pattern designs were kind of up my alley. Hold on just one second, you guys. Sorry about that, you guys. Without fail, no matter when I film, I'm going to get interrupted somehow, some way by more than one person. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm not disappointed with the box overall. It does have a really good retail value versus what you're paying for it. It's not probably the box for everybody. If you're looking for something more like Knit Crate, I'll be honest, stick with Knit Crate. I know their prices just went up, but they're still, I know a lot of people want the 2 skeins of yarn. They want more yarn. So if that's what you're looking for, to date, that is the only multi-skein subscription box that has been under $45 that I've reviewed so far. I mean, they have their own manufacturing, so their house lines, they're not having to pay, once again, the middleman. They're not paying a maker. They pay just the manufacturers that supply their own yarn. So this is Knit Crate's yarn. If you like the philanthropy of Yarn Yay, if you like the designs, the little bit different zest, I mean, our patterns were, the bag was kind of, but everything went so well together, and everything was slightly different than what I'm used to seeing over and over again. It was fun to make everything, and it was fun to work with everything. So if you like the philanthropy, if you like the design, if you like the extras even, I mean, the extras really, with the exception of my loathing of getting marketing materials, everything was nice. Nothing is a cheap product. Everything is well made. Everything is well constructed. So, I mean, if you like the others category that you're getting, I think it's a good deal. I'm not continuing this box, but I don't continue most of these subscription boxes. The only one I ever continued was Knit Crate, and I'm just building a stash of Knit Crate yarn. So, but yeah, like, I had a couple questions about, have I seen other boxes aside from Knit Crate with 2 skeins of yarn in them for under $40? And the answer is no. Even Mountain Meadow Wool, when I reviewed their subscription box, while we did get multiple skeins, we were paying more money for them. And they don't use a domestic mill. They are a domestic mill, and they use domestic fiber. So, I mean, they do cost more overall than a lot of yarns do. But they're the only other one where regularly you were getting 2 what I would consider to be high-end to luxury quality product yarns on a regular basis. Knit Crate generally being a higher end, better than big box. Knit Picks are better. Zone yarns. This one has definitely luxury fibers in it with the baby alpaca and silk blend. I like it. I hate to say that I like it because the math really is kind of, but I really do genuinely like what I got. I enjoyed my experience with the company. I really enjoyed the yarns. I was introduced to at least one new fiber dyer with the Woolen Women. I like it. I think it's on brand for Vicky Howell. I wasn't disappointed. Now, before I sign off, and I keep trying to remember everything I wanted to say, with the exception of month 3, my boxes have been irregular for their normal boxes. And next month, or this coming June's box, also appears to be a 100-gram skein of yarn. So I don't know if they're moving away from the monthly sampler feeling, or if they're going to start combining more 1 skein projects in. But go check out the scarf pattern for this month, because it's on her Facebook page, her YouTube channel. It's very pretty. I like the yarn quite a bit. They are doing a wool-free summer, so it is a cotton, I'm assuming. I didn't do a whole lot of research. I just saw a glimpse. But so we did get 2 100-gram hanks in the first 2 months, and we got 2 50-gram-ish hanks for the 3rd box. So I don't know if they're moving away from that sampling. I know in the past, like, they've done unicorn tails and things like that, and I have seen where people were really upset about getting those, but those are not cheap. Even if you buy them through webs and get your 25% discount, like, those still aren't cheap. They're beautiful. Very beautiful. I love them. I would love to have the budget to justify collecting them. I would just hang them up across the... But I don't have that kind of budget. And This for me is a nice, once again, it's high-end luxury yarns. I feel like I got a good value for what I paid for. Now, once again, the international shipping thing would probably tip the budget for me. This cat's not going to leave me alone. Yeah, once again, I love blue. I've been in a big blue thing for a while now. All right, you guys. I am going to go ahead and head off. I feel like this was kind of rambling and over apologetic because I do like it. And my final say on it after looking at, it's $25 in others that we paid for. It's $78 in yarn that we paid for. So we are actually at 25% other, even though the retail value definitely skews that because, you know, $25 yarn and then a $25 bag in the same thing. So it does bump the retail value when you do have things that are in the extras or other category that are more expensive. But at the end of the day, $78.50 was the retail value of all the yarn. I paid $103. So anyway, you guys, I would love to know your take on this box now that we've had time to process it, now that we've all looked at it. I know a couple of other people have gotten it and have been thinking about it. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I think this is one of those, I don't think it's polarizing, but I do think it makes people have fairly extreme feelings one way or the other with this subscription box based on expectation. And I do think I came into this one with the knowledge of what this box was beforehand. And I actually think for the 3 months I was on, I feel like we did better than what I had anticipated this box being. So anyway, you guys, I love you. I will see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye, guys.